Hello and welcome to the Nerd Age Podcast. This is a show where we talk about everything nerdy. My name is Jonah, and I'm here with Mick.
Hey.
Josh.
What's up?
And Corey.
Yo.
Hey, I know a lot of you, thank you for those that reached out when we didn't have an episode last week, but we were celebrating America's birthday.
That's right, baby.
So we had the week off, but we're back. I'm just joking.
23 years old.
No one reached out and asked about the episode. I just threw that in there. But anyways, we're gonna start out with some trailer talk. We got a huge trailer. We're gonna save that one for last. But we're gonna start with Agatha All Along.
I thought you were gonna save Agatha for the
No. That one we're going with that one first. I'll start off with this saying this. I don't like the actress. And I don't.
Catherine Hahn?
No,
and I don't like what she wears. I don't like how she looks, and I don't like her voice.
Can't stand Aubrey Plaza.
You don't like Aubrey Plaza?
Two actresses that I can't stand. That already is one thing. This show, I don't think it's. There's no point in me watching it. It's not for me. I don't even think I'm going to give it a try. That's just me, completely honest. This didn't get me peaked into like, oh, let me go watch that. Yeah, for me, it's a trash for me.
Dude, wow, surprise. Who would have guessed?
Oh, my gosh. That's crazy.
Yeah, amazing.
The show looks really scary.
Whoa.
I don't know if I can handle
It's
it.
coming out in the Halloween.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Halloween, spooky, witches,
That wasn't my favorite trailer.
demonic.
There's some creepy stuff in there, right? Like
Yeah.
Zombie
weird things
Zombie
crawling on
probably
their
Wanda or something.
backs and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have any opinion really about either actress, but it's not something that I was like clamoring for or asking for. So, and it does seem a little more on the like, ooh, and that's just not really my thing.
He does not a scary movie guy.
Not a scary movie
He's
guy.
screwed.
Wait, you're not joking?
Oh yeah, no. I don't like scary.
For me, it's like this
I don't
looks
like scary
like
things.
this looks like if they got Sabrina the Teenage Witch and like Marvelized it, and that's what this looks like.
I
to
could
me.
never watch Teenage Sabrina Witch.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of how I saw this. I mean, they even had like light jokes with Aubrey Plaza and stuff like that. Whoa! What's she doing? Oh! Like this, like when she bends backwards and like whatever. Yeah, I mean, you know what you're going to be getting into with this show. I mean, it's just going to be, there's going to be some serious, quote unquote, serious moments, but it's going to be a lot of jokes and just kind of witchcraft kind of stuff, satanic mentionings. I don't think
Nasty women.
What are they called?
The Bene Gesserits. Nasty women.
No, I mean, I'll try a couple episodes just because I'm unbiased, and
You'll do it for those listening.
I take the shot for everyone.
Do it for the children.
I'll take the charge. You know, I think me and Josh. I don't know. Will you even watch it? I mean, like the first episode. But I'll watch the first episode. It's free. Why not watch it? I don't even pay for it. Joby pays for it. Thanks, brother.
Hey.
Appreciate you, man. I wonder if he uses that.
Hey, Disney, we're just joking. We do not share
share
our
logins.
Disney Plus login.
No.
Just joking.
Oh, Joby's my alternate. What's it called?
Ego.
Yeah. So I'm bipolar. So I'm just talking to myself. Josh, what do you think? Trash. Just say trash.
I think it was trash, to be
say
honest.
trash.
It was.
That's fine. There's nothing
Which
wrong.
is a shame because I liked WandaVision. I thought WandaVision was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the best part of WandaVision isn't in this.
Right, exactly. Probably
No.
the lamest part of WandaVision is in this.
Yes. They made a show
Our
about the
least
lamest
favorite
part.
Yeah.
Agatha All Along.
So
I
The
mean,
scariest part.
the part that did seem kind of interesting.
what happened to you, man, growing up?
He got scared, dude.
Would your brother spook you all the time?
Oh yeah, he would make creepy faces at me when I was trying to sleep.
He does have a creepy face. Dude. That would be scary.
Scary, dude. I thought the interesting part was like continuing that theme of like, oh, you're in an alternate reality, kind of like.
Yeah, but it seems like they
So
just
there
get
is-
rid of that instantly.
It
Right.
seems like she's getting rid of that.
So,
You don't know if instant.
but yeah, the other stuff I'm not super. Yeah, it didn't really like interest me at all. There's nothing else that I could see showing up in this show that I'd be like, oh, that's
She-Hulk
interesting. Yeah.
twerking?
Oh, if She-Hulk does show up, that might
With
be
Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah.
That'd be the one saving grace.
Yeah.
I did.
With Megan the Stallion.
That's what happened in
Because that's
She-Hulk.
what happened in She-Hulk. Megan Thee Stallion showed up and they twerked together.
I forgot because I didn't watch it.
Hey, you said. Hey, I thought you said you were committed to this.
He said
All of a
Agatha
sudden.
All Along, not She-Hulk. Not She-Hulk.
I gave it like 3.
Okay.
I gave it like 3. She-Hulk.
I do think it's funny that I literally saw people in the comments of the trailer that were like, man, it's so funny that they've changed the title so many times, and then the title was Agatha All Along. Brilliant marketing. I was like, well, I don't think that was marketing, guys. Like they just legitimately didn't know what to call.
They couldn't
what
make
to do
up their
with this.
minds.
They didn't know what to do with the show, and they couldn't
weird.
figure it out because it's had like 4 different titles.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, a certain group of people out there is like Marvel geniuses, genius marketing, next level.
Another Feige
yeah,
home run.
Blade is also
I feel like-
brilliant marketing.
I feel like sometimes there's comments that I'm pretty sure I want to get my tinfoil cap on, like Jonah style,
Yeah.
and be like, I think those are Disney accounts.
It's a bot, yeah.
Yeah, or a bot or something. Like
It's Bob Iger.
I wouldn't put it past him. It's probably just him and his kids or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, when you told me to watch it, I was like, wow, we're even going to give it time on the
Yeah.
podcast. That's pretty impressive.
Just to say it's trash. We all agree it's trash?
Yeah, it's all trash.
Yeah, trash. I'm sorry I don't have the sound effects. Trash.
just do it.
What's this one?
Hey, look at you.
It's
Hey.
trash. Oh,
We said trash.
That was bad applause.
Weird.
by the
You
way.
guys
Yeah,
don't
we're-
applaud for trash?
No.
yeah.
The next one that we're going to talk about is the big one, Gladiator 2. This is on a few of our most anticipated lists.
Yeah, it is. Yes, sir. Yeah.
You know, the proper way
yeah, I'm
to make
Gladiator.
a Gladiator trailer is to throw just modern music into it, right?
I mean, that was the
Not
worst part of the
just that.
trailer.
Not
That's
just
what
that,
makes the trailer
but
good, right?
Rap music.
Yeah.
That's the worst part of the trailer, but the
Yeah.
trailer was pretty legit.
Yeah.
Like I got excited for it. Whatever. That
Yeah.
music's not going to be in the movie.
It's trash
It
music.
is.
I bet
No,
it
it's
is.
not.
They said it
It's
is.
not.
It
It's
was
not.
It's
so
the opening.
dumb.
It's the opening title.
Hans Zimmer's out.
It's not.
And the closing title.
It's not. So I'm stoked for it.
Dude,
Besides that,
I was like, dang, this takes me out of this. Dang.
it looks
That's
good.
crazy. It looks great, but man, that music sucks.
Yeah.
That was my thought process. It looks great. And they've got, man.
You're
like,
saying it doesn't look good?
Go for it.
no, you go.
No,
I mean,
you go.
feel
You got
strongly,
obviously
I
a
guess.
strong
No.
opinion.
I just don't. I watched it, and well, the music obviously. I think it took everyone out. There's no
Yeah.
one. There's no one in the world
They
that
put
watched
me in
that
the
trailer
Bronx,
and
dude.
was like,
It put me in the Bronx. You know what I'm saying?
it was like I was in Training Day with Denzel.
Yeah, that's what it felt like.
Is that what they were going with?
Yeah,
Okay.
they were going.
That makes
It was
sense.
Training Day 2.
That is
actually,
smart
was the name
marketing.
of that. I don't know. I just something about the. I just don't know.
What about it,
I just
though?
don't know if we needed this.
Well, of course we didn't need it. Gladiator
did.
is a perfect movie.
It is.
This is entertainment. We don't need any of this.
I know,
Yeah.
but I'm like,
Did you need X-Men 97?
No, you didn't.
You didn't.
You didn't.
I did.
To survive.
I needed to
No,
have.
you
more,
didn't.
I needed more of the story.
You didn't care. You
Point at
didn't
it while
wake
you
up.
say you.
You didn't wake up You didn't wake up a year ago before they even announced it and be like, you know what I need now? The continuation of X-Men 97. Remember that cartoon?
but when they did announce it, I was like, oh, I'm excited for this. I want to see what
but
the
you
next
didn't
story
need it.
is.
You were fine
And when they
without
announced Gladiator 2, I was like, nah, I don't think I need this.
Whoa.
You didn't need the other one.
I don't need anything in my life.
Yeah, that's what we're saying.
Right, that's
it's
our point.
entertainment.
Except you, Lord. But
I'm just saying.
But as far
nothing-
as there's certain movies that you
Amen.
hear about and you're like, oh, I'm excited for this because I want to see where the story
Yeah.
goes. This one, I'm like, it's supposed to be Lucius.
yeah, that's Lucius.
Okay, well, Denzel's in it. Okay.
Yo.
What do you mean Denzel's in it? One of the greatest actors of all time.
You got a problem with Denzel?
Yeah.
What's your problem
He's
with
a-
Denzel?
Wait,
Plays the same character.
Wait, you didn't.
Oh my gosh,
He's
get out of here.
He's Denzel in every movie.
All right, that's going to do it for the Nerd Age podcast. We're going to get out of here.
Wow.
We're now 3 people on the podcast.
Whoa.
I will not have
I'm
any
just joking.
Denzel hate.
I'm just joking. I like
He's
Denzel.
trolling.
I'm trolling this guy because it's too easy to push his buttons.
Okay.
But I will say, as far as the movie goes, the visuals look cool.
Yeah.
I mean, the freaking water
Yeah,
battles
a
in the
historical
Coliseum, which
fact.
is actually
Historically
real.
fact.
I'm like, that looks sweet.
Yeah.
But then outside of that, I'm nervous to see. I feel like the potential for this to be a very bad movie, I think is
All
high.
right, okay, all right. Here's the thing.
How many movies? Oh, never mind. Go ahead.
What happened to you?
Oh,
What happened to me?
Remember the days where we would see a dude coming in on a rhino and be like, "Oh my gosh, that dude is riding in on a rhino."
Name a movie where a guy came in
No,
on a
I'm just
rhino.
saying in general.
Black Panther.
In general. In general, when
Ace
stuff would
Ventura.
happen and we're like, that looks sick.
He came
I want
out
to
of
see
it.
that. What happened to us? We lost our childhood giddiness watching this
all
stuff.
that stuff looks cool.
Okay, there you go. Then it looks
Rhino
good.
in a coliseum, cool. Water, boats and sharks in a coliseum, cool. It's the rest of the story that I'm like,
You don't think Pedro Pascal looks great in that role?
bro, yeah, he does. But the part with Lucius, I'm like, it just feels like we're rehashing everything. It's just it's literally, we're just another vengeance
It's just
story.
Gladiator.
Part two.
Okay, yeah. I
Exactly.
mean, that's exactly what a sequel is.
Well, I'd hope it.
No, it's
like
not.
That.
It rehashes the whole story. It's a story about vengeance again. Aside from John Wick, that's the only point of those movies.
One of your favorite trilogies of all time, Back to the Future, redoes the whole movie, the first movie and the second one, and you think the second one's better than the first one. And that's exactly rehashing the same first movie.
So I was watching an interview with Russell Crowe, and he was saying that he's not in the movie, has nothing to do with it, and he wanted people to stop asking him about it. But he did say that if Ridley Scott is doing a second one, he has a really good reason and a really good story planned. So
Yeah,
I
agree.
think the fact that
What does Russell Crowe know? That guy's crazy.
it's taken.
Thor: Love and Thunder.
Everyone's
Ever
crazy.
heard of it?
Everyone's crazy in Hollywood. I think the fact that this
Man of
movie
Steel, ever heard of
has taken, 24 years since the first one?
I mean,
I
been
feel
a
like,
while.
Do you think they take this opportunity to get a stinker
yeah.
of a story?
Yeah.
You think
We'll see.
You think Ridley Scott would do that?
I don't see why not.
Was it not on your
Okay.
top 10? The rest of us, though, right?
It was on
it
yours,
was on
too.
mine.
That ain't me, bro.
All I'm saying.
I think there is a big risk. I think the movie could suck.
I'll tell you what's going on here. I'm gonna be honest. That song destroyed him. The music in the trailer destroyed all sense he had. Everything he could appreciate for it went out the window. Went out the window because he's like, wait,
How
what?
can I trust a movie if they put the?
I
know.
I agree, brother.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. That trailer
No
music
integrity.
was trash.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, dude. It was not good, man.
So-
Fire that guy. Oh
Yeah.
wait, it was Ridley Scott. Whoops. He's
I
already
agree.
hired.
I agree with the music, but there's so many things in that
Bro,
trailer.
how many times do
So
we talk
I
about how
watched-
important the music is?
Right,
Bro.
But I know that that
And where's
music's
the
not
dun
gonna.
dun?
That movie,
You know
that
what I mean?
music's not gonna be in the movie.
Yeah, we know.
And so
but I'm just
here's,
saying.
I rewatched the trailer like 5 or 6 times, and every time I saw something else that I really was like, that interests me. One, it's following Lucius, and they have shots that are from the original Gladiator, but redone with a new actor. And that to me was really interesting.
Couldn't I DH the original one?
Because I'm just like, we're going to get flashbacks to this. It's going to be interesting to watch just the filmmaking aspect of it because, you can rewatch Gladiator and see those scenes, but they have like exact scenes from Gladiator redone. That was cool to me. Just the visuals of everything. I really think Pedro Pascal's character is really interesting because it doesn't seem like he is like the typical bad guy. In the other one, it's like, the emperor, you want to get rid of him. But he seems like he's got something more, like he loves Rome. And apparently, I didn't know this, but that character's in the original Gladiator. Like he fought with Maximus is one of the things they're saying. So that to me is really interesting, how that relationship works. Why are they fighting? Why are they gladiators? This whole aspect gives to me more of like a Spartacus vibe than it does the original Gladiator. So I think those are differences where in the other one it's like, oh, well, Joaquin Phoenix, I want revenge on him. This one, there's something else going on that is intriguing to me with those two characters. With Paul Mescal and Pedro Pascal, those are really good actors that I think their stories are going to be different than what the Gladiator was. And Denzel Washington in there is really cool too, because now there's another aspect of like, he wants to take Rome down. It's just a cool aspect of it that I'm like, there's a lot of stuff that could go really good here and tell a really cool story that's different than the first Gladiator.
Oh, I hope so, dude.
Yeah, it's definitely a different story for sure. But I mean, it is also Gladiator. So at its core, it has to have similar beats.
Gladiation. That's what, in Gladiators gladiate.
it's a real
it's called
word.
gladiation.
They gladiate.
Don't
Yeah.
look it up. Don't
Yeah.
look it up.
Are you guys giving it a trash or pass? Or blast?
So the trailer's a trash, but I think the movie could be dope.
I'm giving it a blast, even with the music, because I thought there was really good
so we're
stuff up
judging
to
the
that.
trailer?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
then trash.
It's a blast for me.
Yeah.
It still got me
That
excited.
music's too important for me to let that pass.
The visuals were so cool,
And it's on your top 10 list.
and it is on my top 10. But I agree with Corey. The music it was so out of place that it ruined the trailer.
It was like the first thing I said.
I'm still really excited for the movie. I think everything that I saw looked great.
Yeah.
But everything I heard, I was like, this just why? Like why? Why would they do that?
I don't know. Why would they do that?
So I'm gonna say trash.
Yo, trash.
They need to learn their lesson. And if we just blast a trailer that actually isn't that great, they won't learn their lesson.
That's right.
We need to show them that
We
this
have
is
to
not what
make
the
a
people
stand.
want. Trash.
And you already know my opinion. I think it's trash. That's a trash trailer.
There you go.
Sorry, gentlemen.
We got 2 trashes today. Unfortunate. That's going to do it for trailer talk. Hey, we're going to jump
Unlucky.
right into Acolyte. We've got 2 episodes to talk about. This is the big building anticipation right before the season finale next week. So we're going to go right into this. Spoilers ahead. Absolutely. I mean, if you're listening now, you should know that by now. But these 2 episodes, I felt like we were getting we're getting better. Here we go, going up. These 2 episodes were not good for me.
Really?
We'll go with the first one.
Yeah.
The one where I feel like the twins go different sides, right? They're so now we got the whole like switch up. I was like, how long is this going to last?
The Parent Trap situation.
I just felt like they kept dragging their feet and doing nothing in the episode. The coolest parts for me was towards the end when she puts the helmet on, and then when he talks a little bit about, you find the information about, he used to be a Jedi, had a former master, but everything leading up to that just felt like they were just tiptoeing their way through this episode and nothing really happened. Soul was driving me crazy, like going, back and forth. The stuff with Basil where he kept like sniffing and then he'd like go to another room and be like still sniffing after her and like, he's gonna tell Saul. Oh wait, no, okay, he's gonna wait. Okay. It just felt like they were moving so slow with it. And again, how many episodes do we have to have where Saul's like, I'm gonna tell you something. And then it's like
the next episode,
time.
maybe.
Yeah.
To
Next
me,
time on Dragon Ball Z.
when you continue to do that,
episodes later.
it frustrates the viewer because it's like this happened. He said it 4 times.
I completely agree with you. These 2 episodes were almost infuriating. I'm like, just go, like keep going.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. It was like tiptoeing, just killing time almost for like we need to wait until episode 8 to do something.
Yeah,
it was really annoying, and there was some good stuff in there, but it was just like looking back on those 2 episodes, especially the first one or episode 6.
Yeah.
That one was really bad. It was just like Soul's not talking, we're just waiting and people are just kind of meandering around and just not saying things directly. Like they have things to say, but they're just not saying it for some reason. They're just waiting. There's a lot of waiting, not telling, and just it was getting pretty annoying. And then I think I said before when they do a whole episode as a flashback, I would prefer it if it was sprinkled in throughout the season just to help the story seem a little more naturally progressing. And so, and this last episode, I don't know, the whole flashback stuff after watching it, I feel like it didn't really make that much of a difference with like this big secret that happened.
Yeah, I feel they didn't really. It wasn't like, man, the grand reveal of what actually happened was like, oh, I feel like that's pretty much.
I think I was expecting like something like they were slaughtered and, you know, like the Jedi just turned Sith for a few minutes or so. Like, but it was just like, oh, okay. I mean, he was
misunderstanding.
There was a little bit of self-defense there, and you know, little misunderstanding kind of thing. And she still technically started the fire, and okay,
even though it was an accident,
he was struggling to hold up both. He kind of liked Osha better,
which who wouldn't? The other one started the fire.
Yeah, of course, she deserved it.
I agree. There just was too many things that were like the other thing that. You know, we'll let you guys talk in a sec. But the thing that the thing that drove me nuts was a little bit the Jedi. I feel like this has been a problem with the whole series for me. Characters make a decision out of nowhere. Like they're going one way. Like perfect example is when May is like, I'm going to kill the Wookiee. And then she talks to Kamira a little bit and she's like, traps him. She's like, I'm actually going to turn myself in. And she's like, I hate my sister. And then she's like, oh, I love my sister. And then I actually hate my sister. The Jedi did the same thing in this episode. What was like, they're going, Soul's like trying to tell the one Padawan, like, it's important. And then all of a sudden he's like, I want a Padawan. And he freaks out.
The Jedi were acting stupid.
The one that drove me crazy was because I thought the best Jedi in this episode was Indara. She felt the most like, hey, I talked to the council. They said no. All this stuff. She goes through. She seemingly does everything well. Like she's trying to deal with everything. And then at the end of the episode, when she's angry, she grabs Soul, right? Mm-hmm. And you can tell she's angry at like what he just caused. And then she's like, we're going to tell the truth. She started the fire and everyone died. She's the one that comes up with like, we're going to keep it hidden. The one that's been the whole episode, like, this is what we got to do. Soul, you got to tell the council. And then she's the one that makes the decision to keep it. Like, that to me was, where does that come from? Well, that's why it drove me nuts.
She's the one that, like, she murdered everybody, really.
Yeah, I don't know if they died. They didn't. I mean, she kind of.
I would assume they
I'm pretty sure they died.
Okay.
But
it would be lame if they're just like, oh,
passed out. They burned alive. I thought they were passed out and then they did die in the fire. But at that moment, it's not like when she took them out of the trance that I don't think they died. I think they were just like passed out.
I guess I interpreted it as they like,
and
whatever
then the
she
fire
did
killed them is what she was saying. Like they technically all died in the fire. But anyways, what Josh and Corey, do you guys have some positives or what do you guys think of what we've said?
At the same time.
3, 2, 1.
You know, go ahead.
The first episode we're talking about, 6. I think it was a little slower. I did like the dynamic between Osha and Kamir. I thought that was cool, like to see how he's, taking disrobe. I thought we were going to see some Sith booty. You know what I'm saying?
I had no idea when she said that they had made a brand new lightsaber for this series. I had no idea it was, just a euphemism for him being without his pants on.
Hey.
It's a flesh saver.
It was a whip.
What color?
It was a whip. It was purple.
Light whip. That's right.
It was a whip.
Does that count? Does that count?
No. It wasn't seen.
Did you hear?
No.
Oh, dang it.
Maybe in your mind.
All right, I'm gonna get us back on track. I'm gonna get us back on track, guys.
Please do.
I did like that aspect of it. The stuff him talking about his helmet, like basically walking her through, like, oh, why would you want to be with the Jedi? They don't give a crap about you.
Right.
I thought all that stuff was compelling. I thought Soul's stuff was good. Kind of him being like, I thought the acting was good on his part, like him being like just overwhelmed with grief, kind of a thing. But all the other stuff with like Basil, what's his name? Jumping up and being like, I'm going to step on you. Yeah, I was like, okay, this is like ridiculous. And then the
music came in.
Little droid is so dumb.
Pip?
Like, she's just like, I'm going to reset you like it's an iPod shuffle. You know what I mean?
She's like,
hold the buttons and she's like,
that. I cried a little bit.
He's reset.
I was like, oh man,
like he's gone.
Man, all the things we've gone through with me and Pip, bro.
Yeah,
Remember that time he shot water at that person?
Yeah.
Remember that time he stopped the flame?
Yeah.
Bro.
Remember that time when he sacrificed himself to light up a person?
Yeah. Remember when he got that flashlight on there? Remember?
And-
do you remember? Now you're crying. Now you remember.
I wish I didn't remember.
So
R.I.P. Pip.
That stuff was pretty
R.I.P.
lame.
All right, Pip.
And then I actually liked the newer episode.
The flashback one?
Yeah. I thought that the action was pretty sweet. It was cool to see.
It's good to see the
Wookiee fight and stuff like that. I think you're right. It didn't really change any, like, it was what we kind of always suspected of, like, oh, that's all a big misunderstanding, guys. But it was cool to, I guess, to see, like, how, I guess, evil the other mother really was.
Other mothers.
Like, she's the one that actually instigated most everything.
Yeah.
And push. Yeah. So and we didn't see her body at the end or anything like that. So I'm assuming she's probably still around.
She kind of wisped away, right?
Well, yeah, she was like, oh, I'm good. Anyway. But the stuff with Indara, I actually don't mind it as much, the decision that she's making, because even though she's been doing the right thing the whole time, she's trying to do what's best for the kid in this instance. Like she's basically justifying it by saying, like, oh, this kid's gone through so much terrible things. You killed her whole family. And now you're going to abandon her for nothing. So you have to make it right by doing this. And that kind of goes back to what the mother was saying, where she's like, your best intentions are going to cause the downfall of the Jedi. Like, you think you're doing the right thing out of your, whatever piety or whatever you think your good intentions are, but it's really the wrong thing to do. And so I thought that's why I was fine with that, because I feel like it kind of played in thematically with what happened is, he makes this decision and all these Jedi end up dying.
Yeah.
Not even those ones, even more died because of all the stuff with Khmer or whatever. So that's why I was fine with that decision. I can see, like, it is a little quick to turn, but I thought there was some precedent at least for her to make that decision.
Yeah, I mean, you guys know how I feel about this series. So, I mean,
10 out of 10.
I think that it makes sense that, like, what they've been doing this whole time, which is, like, very, like, surface level decision making and, like, not much depth behind every, like, line. It kind of makes sense because it's been carrying throughout this whole thing. So, for instance, when she's talking to the Sith guy, whatever, what did you say? What was his name?
Khmer.
Come here. He's just, like, saying some stuff, and she's, like, so, like, she could have fought him. Like, he literally just murdered a bunch of Jedi who she knew, but for all of a sudden, just because he's, like,
naked,
you could never have a really good relationship with them. They wouldn't care about you. All of a sudden, she's like, you're right. It's cool that you killed all of them. Like, that was so weird to me. I was like, what kind of decision making is that? Like, well, that makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
But and she's, like, turning, like, so quickly. Like, I don't know. Everything just feels really forced. I think he's a cool character. Don't get me wrong. I like him as a character. And it's just I don't buy it. I don't buy the decisions she makes. I don't buy the decisions how Soul's doing things. He was probably my favorite character. But it just all seems very, like, forced. And just to, like, I wish there was more to the story. I think is the biggest thing. It feels empty. It feels so empty. It's like there's so much potential. Visually, it looks really cool. Cool actors, cool, I guess, surface level looking characters, and we just don't do much with them. Like, what a missed opportunity with the Wookiee guy. Mm-hmm. All we get to see him is get killed and make a pot of, like, tea, and then also get mind controlled. And it's like, dude, he didn't even get to do anything. Like, we saw him, like, in the camp and stuff.
He was fixing stuff, dude.
Yeah, he was like, he had the little metal.
Yeah.
The metal detector. I was like, bro, really?
I never knew I wanted to see a Jedi with a metal detector. Until this
Wookiee Jedi, like, metal detecting in the field.
Bingo I can die happy now.
I was gonna watch them get those, like, fish lines with the magnets on them and throw it in the rivers. I got a grenade.
Yeah, I agree with you. I feel like the decisions they're making, they want us to, like, go along with those characters, but they don't put the groundwork in. Yes. And here's the problem. You can change that, but they threw in this random scene like they want things both ways. So like before they go off and everyone's going to get killed, they throw in this random scene with May and with Osha and Jackie, right? Where they're like, hey, when I'm back, they're like to try to show you like, oh, they care for each other. They have a relationship. But it's forced because they know that they're going to kill that character. So they want you to have like a moment of, oh man. But then
they're checking off the list of things they think they need to do to make a cohesive story.
But then in the next episode, it doesn't matter because she has an opportunity to kill the person that just killed Jackie, and she watched Jackie get murdered in front of her, and she's like, no, there's kind of tension here.
They want us to buy into something that they've set up, but then they don't follow through on that.
Right. And so
truly investing.
I would have much rather
she should have fought.
Them had this idea that she kind of is upset with the Jedi because she got kicked out. And the people that are with her, she kind of has problems with. They kind of did a little bit with Yord, but that conflict was also resolved. So now, if you would have told me that now she kind of has like friction with all those characters and she kind of dislikes them, then that would make more sense when they all died that she wouldn't really care that much. But you took the step to being like, oh no, she actually likes Jackie. And, even in some of the interviews they're saying, whoa, well, could they like be romantically involved? Kind of like that question. I was like, then you can't do that to then have in the next episode her be like, yeah, you killed all my Jedis, but you're making some solid points there. So now I'm gonna kind of hang out. Let's hang out.
Yeah, I don't get that.
So to me, that's where it was McClunky. It just was like it doesn't make sense. The same thing with Soul. I feel like at the beginning of that first episode, he says, I'm gonna go tell the Jedi Council. I'm gonna tell them everything. I'm gonna turn myself in, all that stuff, and then 10 minutes into the episode, he like turns off his transponder so he can't be tracked, and then he leaves. So I'm like, what is happening that makes you make these decisions? And in the flashback episode, the same thing happens. He's like, the beginning of the episode, he's like, yeah, you got to understand, this is an important mission, all this stuff. And then he's like, sees the kids, and he's like, and I know they're trying to do this whole thing about like, it was his attachment that was the problem, right? I get that, but it just seems like you've got to lay the groundwork for the decisions to be believable. Yeah. And if you don't, and it's just kind of like you said, checking off, oh, we got that scene. Then when the moments that have weight, they just fall flat because it's like, that doesn't make sense that character would make that decision. So that's, and I've liked the show good enough. I just feel I've been frustrated with these last two episodes, just the way the execution was. Especially because I feel like in the front half of the season now that I can see all 7 episodes, I feel like things were done in the first few 2 or 3 episodes that I was like, you could have been setting the groundwork for something, but you kind of just, again, tiptoed through the episode to be like, oh, we didn't really see anything. Yeah. Where you could have been setting the groundwork with May's character, Osha's character, Soul's character, but that wasn't done. So it's becoming a little more disappointing to me with these last 2 episodes. I'm hoping 8 knocks it out of the park and changes that. But to me, it seems... No, I'm not saying that, but like...
No.
Bro.
But what I'm saying is...
If I come next week and I'm like, yeah, they killed it. It totally redeemed the whole series. I will buy you each a pizza. You know what I mean? There's no way.
There's no dairy, Bray.
There's
all the dairy.
There's no way they do that.
Is there going to be a season 2?
Here's what I'm saying.
No. There better not be.
I'm not
stand for it.
I'm not saying
shut it down.
I'm not saying they come and be like everything they did redeemed what happened, but I'm saying like something that happens that leaves you with a like, oh my gosh, that was really cool.
Yeah.
If like a Sith Lord Darth Tenebrous shows up and does this whole thing, and then you're like, oh, they're setting up Plagueis, and these characters kind of just get killed, and you're like, oh, they're setting up Tenebrous was the bad guy. He's gonna, Plagueis is coming in, because there are some teases of things. The planet that's the unknown planet. People are saying in the Darth Plagueis novel, there was a planet that Tenebrous and Plagueis owned that had cortosis. Mining cortosis, and it's described in the book just like this one looks. So they're like, is that and they showed the cortorsis veins in the thing. So they're like,
is that those kind of snouty little?
Well, in the Plagueis novel, there's like the native people there are like murderous, and so it's a dangerous place. Like a lot of people don't survive, and that's why Tenebris and Plagueis use that. Anyway, so they've set up stuff. So if they're doing that, that would be something that I'd be like, okay, this was just kind of a story to get to that point. Really? And then the next thing that might be interesting,
because whose hands is it in? The story's not going to be told well. It hasn't proven to be told well.
What I don't think the same people would be doing the next stuff.
Okay, maybe.
I think
Dave Filoni's in charge now, baby.
Dave Filoni's in charge now. But I'm saying if they talked about this thing as we're going to do the Acolyte and stuff like that, that's the only thing that to me would make it okay. I'm on board. But if it's just going to be like
8 episodes to get
Camille
Plagueis.
is, well, I don't even think Plagueis shows up at the end, but
some Sith Lord.
But I do think at this point, there's none of the characters that I'm hoping survive. Like, I don't want to know more about May and Osha. And like, do I want to continue to know their story? Do I want to continue to know the story of Soul?
I think Pip's the only one that I really.
Yeah. Again, the only character that I think
he's gone,
that to me is like, that's a really cool character and I like that is Indara. At the end of the day, but she's dead. So that to me is a problem with this series is when there's no characters that I'm like, can we continue to see their story? Kamir, I might want to see more Kamir. I think he's the best character in here.
Yeah, so I think for me, Kamir would be an interesting character to know his backstory. Yeah. Maybe we get a little bit of it in the next episode. I would like
so I'm getting whipped by that light whip, because we know that's going to happen.
I would like to see Soul, but I would like to see Soul if he turns to the dark side. I think that would be a more interesting. I don't want to see him be like, I'm back to the Jedi Council, and let's see where I go from here. I think it would be a more interesting story to see him turn to the dark side, and then we see how he goes that way.
Changes his name to Darth Luna.
Yeah, there you go. Wow, look at you and your Latin roots. But yeah, I think I think the biggest problem with the show is that there's things that I'm interested in. There's things that I'm like, oh, that was a cool idea, but none of it's like come together cohesively for a cool moment or like an emotional moment. You know what I mean? It's like there's cool things. Kamir's cool. I actually like the stuff with the virgins is cool. Like that idea.
The virgins?
Yeah, the virgins. Waiting in paradise for you, for Kamir. But that's like, there's cool concepts in the show, but it just hasn't been there. I think, Mick, your idea would have made more sense of like, hey, we have these 8 episodes and we're slowly showing you what the flashback is. And that builds up to the big reveal at the end.
Yeah.
And then that way you lay more groundwork, Jonah, like you were saying, of like, because in one episode you're just seeing like, oh, I saw these girls and I think I'm supposed to be one of that's going to be my Padawan.
Yeah.
Like it's just out of the blue. But if you kind of intertwine that and have it slowly build, and then you see how he is with his new Padawan, you know what I mean? Like that would have been
so much better.
It would have been a better build up to, the reveal. And at that point, maybe the reveal is actually worth it because you've seen it kind of come together. Whereas this was like, oh, we already knew this was going to happen, and we've waited 8 episodes for this, and it was just like, oh, yeah, kind of what we thought happened.
Yep.
I actually think that they're like origin story little like mishap that happened. That's really what it feels like, is a mishap.
Yeah.
I think that's a bad story. I think that how they did that was badly done. I don't think it was good. I think they should have had it where, I think that's a cool idea where they slowly reveal the story and then you're kind of tracking, okay. Well, where did it all turn wrong? And then maybe in the last 2 episodes, you reveal that moment or whatever happens. Maybe it's a dark turn on a Jedi or something. But like, it's all just like it's a misunderstanding kind of a thing. Like, well, I didn't want my sister to leave, so I kind of just lit some stuff on fire. Like, dude, what a weird. And it was like a lot of misunderstandings. Oh, I would have let her go with you anyway. Oh, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like, dude, how weak of a story is that?
Well, everybody was doing that too. It was like,
it's so
you'd
weak.
be like, they'd reveal something and it was like, but this person told him the other thing. And if only they would have told them. It was like one thing after, like classic. Everyone made assumptions.
Yeah.
Where even like I get what they were trying to do, because the whole idea was,
we understand it,
when she possesses Torben, right, and she says, you want to go back to Coruscant, that's what ends up making him go, and so I get what they were doing.
But that's
but at the end of this, it's
I want to
just
go
like,
home.
Well,
Dude,
it
how
was
weak
just
of
like,
a story plot is that?
And I see what they were doing
That's
there too,
so
where it was
weak,
like,
bro.
where Anakin, it's the reverse Anakin. Anakin missed his mother and wanted to go back to Tatooine. This guy misses the comforts of Coruscant and the Jedi Temple. It's
very different, though.
It's right, but they're
She
doing it on
ended up
purpose.
being near death, like flogged to death or whatever,
Right,
by
but-
like slave traders. Like, what a cooler story.
Right, but I think what
Like, I just wanna go
they're
home.
trying to do is like show you
Like,
the
dude.
complacency of the Jedi. Like, they've gotten comfortable. Like, the Padawan is saying like,
Yeah,
I don't want to do this stuff on this planet. I want to go back
They
home.
they should have made it more than
they're
7
making
weeks.
it that. But I do agree. I just think
But
it doesn't
he's-
come across that. It doesn't
Yeah, but
fit.
Anakin
It doesn't work.
was so much more interesting because it's like
8
he's
weeks?
giving into
Maybe.
the like pain and he wants revenge.
Right.
This is like, I want to be in my bed.
But that's the point.
It's a comfy bed,
But
dude.
that's lame.
I know, but that's what they're even though it's lame, that's what they're trying to, like, the whole reason the Jedi fall is because they've gotten used to
I
the
get the
comforts
point.
of that.
I'm just saying it's
And so,
super, like-
so that's what they're going for. But again, it
It's
doesn't.
not
Execution wasn't good.
It's not
No, the
filled
execution
with
isn't
heart.
good.
There's no heart there. There's no passion. Where's the passion? There is no passion.
Dude, I'm passionate about my bed. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
I'm passionate about sleeping, being comfy. I respect Torben.
Bro,
I'm right there with him, dude.
They're on a spaceship that has sick beds
when I go
on
on vacation, I'm like, I just want to go home.
Did you see?
Might
Have you
as
seen
well
that? I've seen people be like, "Man, Torben loved like just being alone because like when he gets back, he just goes back into that meditative state. He loved his bed so much. He's just like, don't disturb me."
Gotta get a good night's sleep.
That's right.
I did think my stupid brain when she put on the helmet when she was gonna get ready to put it, I thought I was gonna get stuck like on Cool Runnings, like Sanka, and she was gonna have to go and hit it down on her head. I psyched myself out watching
Honestly,
it. I was like,
I
oh,
wouldn't have been surprised if they did that. That would fit.
What do you guys think
She got a big head.
going into the final episode, the predictions? We're gonna find out who won the Acolyte predictions. I'm out of this. There's no way I'm winning this. They've only said,
Yeah,
"May the
where's
force
Han
be with you"
Solo?
once. Absolutely garbage. But what do you guys think is your final predictions for what's happening in episode 8? Do we get this big reveal of a Sith Lord? I assume, are you guys on the same page with me? Kamir drops the knowledge that he was a Jedi once. He was a Padawan. The scars they introduce. What's her name?
Because he already said that, basically.
Vanessa.
He said he was a Jedi.
Yeah, Vernestra. They introduce her light whip, conveniently with the scars on his back. I'm assuming Vernestra was his Jedi master. Stuff went down. That's what those scars are from. And she seems like she's been kind of manipulating stuff too and trying to keep things hidden.
When they're like, what do you think happened here? And he was like talking about like someone really strong, or and like, he's like kind of cluing something really strong had to have come and wiped him out. And you could see the look in her eye being like,
Well,
There's so many times where it's like, should we tell the High Council?
And she's like, no, we'll handle it.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, she
She
can
seems
tell
like
she's
she's
hiding
hiding
something.
the
Yeah.
fact that she knows it's her
Yes.
older Padawan.
she does say the thing, which is like something to balance the scales or
Yes.
something like that. So it's like,
Yep.
yeah, you already know she has
Yep.
something going on.
Yep.
I think it's
So
going
for
to
sure
be pretty. Well, I guess with how the season's gone, I guess that's how it's going to go. You know what I mean? Like it seems
been very predictable.
I mean, so yeah, it has been very predictable. It's like, I guess I've been hoping that's like not like, oh, you're trying to misdirect us, but everything they've done has been like,
Dude, I keep being
Yeah.
right
yeah,
because I know they're not that good of writers. They aren't. It's not a great story.
Yeah.
It's not that deep. It's not that interesting. Unfortunately, they don't have like big brains on this one. I'm gonna be honest. Small brains. Like I love the idea of this being like this grand wizard Sith Lord being behind it all, or being revealed to being like,
Agatha.
what have you? It's been her all along. It's
Tenebrous all along.
It's literally her. It's just a crossover.
She's actually dreaming
don't-
it. She wakes up at the end. She goes, "That was crazy," and it's like, watch my show in September.
It'd be a crazy tie-in.
That'd be quite.
Honestly,
the show.
that would make more sense if they ended the show that way.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I get it.
It was Agatha all along. That's why the writing was so trash.
Yeah, I think in order to redeem the show, they need to show me 5 Sith Lords.
So he says this.
Flashback.
Well, what do you want? And he says, I want the power of 2.
Yeah.
So
And then they're
that
like the
kind of
power
makes
of
me,
many.
but that makes me feel like he doesn't have a master. Because they would have the
I think
power
he's
too.
breaking away.
Sure.
This always happens
Yes,
with the
yes,
Sith.
yes,
They're
yes,
always
yes.
like,
yes.
I was like, I'm the apprentice.
He wants his own
Screw
power
this
of
guy.
2.
Yeah.
I want my own.
Yeah. This is classic. I understand, and
This
that's
is-
probably what's going to happen.
This is how I would.
No.
Do it.
What's going to happen? That was your original question.
This is what I hope happens.
Oh, okay.
This is what I hope happens.
Do you
Switching it up.
really think it's going to happen though?
Probably not.
Okay. Well, that was a question.
But this is what I said kind of at the beginning, and I got to stick with it because I'm not the type of man that changes.
Oh, yeah.
That's too bad.
I think Kamir is, he's kind of the acolyte. All right. I think he has a master, but he's behind the scenes been trying to raise up another to kill his master. And I think Tenebris, who's his master, I think he shows up and kills Kamir and then takes someone in this group as his acolyte, whether that's Soul
Or Basil.
is going or Basil. And I think then that would leave the crumbs to be like, okay, we're going to get Tenebris and then Plagueis. The island there seems pretty convenient that's kind of pulling something from Legends into this area. I think that would be interesting if that happened. That way you can just kill Kamir, and whether that's May or Osha or Soul becoming the acolyte to Tenebris, who comes in and realizes, hey, it would be cool if he was like, Kamir thought all along he was doing this in secret, but Tenebris kind of was like manipulating him to get some sort of power and a new apprentice. I think that would be cool. And if that happened, it would be like, okay, now that means they're setting up. We're going to finally get the Plagueis story that we've all wanted to see. So that's what I kind of think. I think Vernestra's going to show up, and it's going to be revealed that she used to be Kamir's master. This whole aspect of they're going to do what they did kind of with Kylo Ren, because they keep playing Kylo Ren's theme music with Kamir, and the director said, oh, there's a reason for that. I think what's going to be, they're going to do a Last Jedi thing. Kamir left because of a misunderstanding.
Oh, good.
I think that's what they're going to do. I think that's what they're going to do.
That's what this whole show
Where
has
his
been.
perspective is like, oh, she whipped me. But the reality is like there was like a mongoose
No, there's a bug on his back.
attack that was going to get him, and she tried to hit it, and and he's like, oh, how dare you, master, and ran off. Something like that. Probably written better, maybe not.
Maybe not.
Probably not.
But I think something like that is going to be like, oh, it was a miscommunication. Why assumptions are bad even for Jedi and
Dude,
Sith.
I'm exhausted.
So that's what I think is going to happen.
I think whatever they do, it's not going to be a satisfying ending.
I agree.
I think this has just been building up to something that we four have written something much better in our heads
Yeah,
than what we're actually going to get.
they might have that cool reveal of a greater Sith Lord and blah blah blah, and maybe Osha turns,
Jar Jar.
or Soul turns, or whatever, right? But I think it's all going to be pretty forced, like force fed, and not like
Pun intended. Forced.
Yep. Exactly. but one thing that I do feel that's kind of untapped is that what they call it, was it a divergence?
Virgins.
Virgins. They address this virgins aspect of them having a really high M count and being almost the same exact person, almost being one person, and that was being born of the Force. And that was a really cool aspect of the story. Yeah. I feel like they haven't really delved into it. And it's like, is it just going to be tossed to the side? Will they stay together? Will one turn to the dark side and May gets redeemed or something? I wonder what they're going to do with that, because
Kamir's going to go.
That was one of the more interesting parts of it.
Fuse them.
Yeah, I agree with that.
One of the, especially at the end when you see the real story of what happened. The mom kind of dissipates into that crazy witch, dusty stuff.
Smoke monster.
And she does too. and made us too. It's like, what's that?
Yeah, and I wish they would explain that because then it would get people to stop, being like, they're destroying Anakin's legacy, because there obviously is something different that they did with manipulation and how, because they showed that scene again where he's like, how did the twins come to be? And she's like, you're not going to tell them, are you? She makes that face.
Yeah.
What?
Spiky mom goes,
Spiky mom.
Yeah, looks at
she gets real worried.
Looks at Mother Anasea and is like, oh, we going to tell? You going to tell? I'm going to tell. I ain't going to tell. So there's something that they not telling.
No one's going to know because they're all dead.
She's Spiky. Spiky mom's alive.
Yeah, Spiky mom's.
I think Spiky mom's alive.
Oh, she's going to come out with a book about
10
steps on how to make your own Force baby. Hey.
How I became a lesbian space witch.
Okay. This guy.
No? That's a great title for a
book.
Dude,
you've been off the handle today.
Any other thoughts on the Acolyte before we...
Yeah, I need, what you guys might think happens. Anything else? Do you think the length is going to be 30 minutes or 45 minutes, 50 minutes?
Probably going to be 40.
Yeah.
It's got to be longer.
You want it to be an hour.
It has to be an hour.
You want it to be an hour.
But we literally say this every time we come to the end of a show.
They're going to rip a 35-minute.
I will say one thing that has been frustrating about the show, I think, is the length.
Yeah.
Everything has been 30 minutes, 30 minutes. It's not enough time to... Maybe you have more time to build in those scenes where it's you actually lay the groundwork to have actual emotion. So that's one thing that's been disappointing. It's that budget was super high. You couldn't have been
180.
Let's do 10 extra minutes every episode.
Yeah.
To make it actually, but then who knows? They would have just filled it with more goofy hijinks.
Yeah.
Come here, bumbling around.
I wonder if they think too episodically in these shows, where in reality, maybe thinking more of it as a really long movie might actually benefit them better, because then they might have a more cohesive story. So I wonder how they kind of map out the writing blocks. For episode 1, do this. Episode 2, we want to address this character's trait and have them meet this person. You know what I mean? Instead of being we have 6 hours, or 5 hours to make a movie. How do we make this a cohesive story? I wish it was more of a cohesive one watch.
Yeah, an easy...
I wish it was probably just a movie instead.
And you guys have already said this, but to me, it's a weird thing. Why wouldn't you have the flashbacks throughout? Because the whole point of this thing was a Jedi's murdered, and then another Jedi has to they said it's a crime detective kind of thing. Well, you could have had that in the first episode. Sol comes over to investigate the crime scene or whatever, get information, and then there you get a flashback of him and Indara talking about the fact that he never had a Padawan, right? Yeah. And you have a 3-minute scene, 2-minute scene, and throughout that episode, it's all these flashbacks of him and Indara talking. The next episode is the same thing. Torben gets killed, and he's following. And you get this aspect of him had that conversation that he had on the planet with Torben about this is what you're supposed to do. Though you pepper those in so that then when you get to see what's happening, you've already built those relationships instead of just being hey, that's the guy that was meditating and got killed. It's just like you said, if you think of the storytelling instead of being oh, let's just have a cool action scene here and then May shows up out of nowhere and they're hey, we're taking you in. That to me is just there's better ways to do it and tell a story that gets you invested with the characters.
It would be
it's a wasted opportunity.
It would be if the episodes of Lost were just the present time, and then they backloaded all the episodes, the last episodes with here's the flashbacks.
Yeah, exactly,
bro. I think that's slapping Lost in the face a little bit. I think I would actually make it more diagnosis murder style, where it's this is what we think the crime might be, and at the very end they have a replay of what actually happened. You know what I mean? To kind of reveal.
Yeah, she was smashing up those pills and putting them in his soup.
It's aha! When they talk about him, this show being a cop, mystery solving CSI, it totally wasn't.
Yeah. Yeah,
I knew it wouldn't be.
I just think it's a missed opportunity to be able to do that. Like, you could have put those flashbacks in there, and then when you had one episode where it was more about May, you have those flashbacks with her and Osha, and then
her
ultimately you're seeing that stuff every episode, so that when you do get the episode 7 where it shows what actually happened, you're like, oh, I was seeing it from each person's different perspective of what they saw, and now I'm seeing it from the audience perspective. This actually happened.
Mm-hmm.
Totally would have been more cohesive. The characters work, and then you get Indara in most of the episodes. You get those characters in instead of just a lot in 1, a little bit in 3.
Well, you get a way better feeling of like the Jedi who went on the mission and May and Osha.
Yeah,
like those relationships would be a little bit better. It wouldn't be amazingly better, but you'd understand their decisions and how they're talking and how they're kind of like posturing a little bit better, because like, oh, there's more than, there's some stuff that went on, and you'd understand people a little bit better.
And then when Osha puts the helmet on, then it goes to like Kamir. He's like, "Hi, Oshi. I just wanted to tell you my story. It all started when I was 6 years old." And then you just do a whole flashback of that.
Sounds great.
But I don't know. Any thoughts before we head out? Next week, we're obviously going to be talking about the series finale, and we'll figure out who won. I think we'll do it a different way. Last time I kind of divvied up, figured out the points and then announced who won. But I think we'll go through each one, and we'll just like, if you get it right, put a finger up. If you get it wrong, down. And by the end, whoever has more fingers up is the winner. That's how it'll work. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Gonna do it. Yeah. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. You can find us on TikTok, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, on X. We'll be back next week with more of the Nerd Age podcast. Thanks so much for hanging out. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.